So the success in your marriage reminds me of John Gottman and his book about, and he was in Seattle, and they did do you know who John Gottman is?
Not familiar.
Okay.
I may be and just don't know it.
Yeah, you probably are. But what they're known for is they put recording devices in a house, and they actually witnessed people in married life.
Oh.
And they did a really long-term study. It's the best study that I've heard of. And it's considered a very good study about what makes some people divorce and some people stay married. And it's exactly what you said. It's that people are basically that if they're polite to each other.
Right.
And that's what they did. They if this couple is kind to one another, they don't have to agree.
Right.
But how do they fight? Are they fighting fair, or are they speaking to each other like as they would speak to like a friend, or someone that they respect? So that's huge. I'd love that. That's great. So you agree to be kind to each other. That's it. You don't have to be a different person or like all of a sudden, or flowers every week or nothing. If it's not in your wheelhouse, you don't have to do it. Right. But just to be polite to each other or to be kind, I think that's something simple that we can all do. And I see that in you guys. One of my favorite things about Andy is that her common sense is way higher than anyone else. So you seem to me like the dreamer. Mm-hmm. and you're like, well, why don't we do this? And like, this sounds great. And she seems to be kind of like the common sense or the one that is grounded.
Very grounded.
And so she's also really in tune to herself and her what she likes, what she doesn't like, but in kind of like a very peaceful way that is probably very stabilizing for you.
Absolutely.
So
and always has been.
Right.
Which is really interesting in our relationship. She really is. She's my secret. My superpower really is.
That's good.
Is her. Andy's very, very clear on what she's clear on, and she's very open-minded. Mm-hmm. So
at the same time.
Yes. And so she refers to herself and she calls it a shift, a sand dune. Which is kind of weird because when you think about a sand dune really is something that's shifting all the time because of the wind. Mm-hmm. But it's always in the same location. Mm-hmm. And so it's just this big thing there. And when it finally does make a shift, it's big because it's noticeable. And she's always been that way.
Nice.
Very, Andy has a literally every year that we've been together writes in January. Mm-hmm. She writes her list of what needs to happen in 2025, what the goal is or whatever.
That's neat.
She's ran a budget, a ledger, literally old school.
That's good.
Sits down and writes it all out because we recognize that personal, if you want to be in control, or if you want to be the one that's going to run your life, then you have to know what your life is. And I'm of the generation that, now we have phones and all that, but I grew up knowing that if you wanted to know about people, you look at their calendar to see how they spend their time, and you look at their checkbooks to see how they spend their money.
That's good.
And that'll tell you almost everything you need to know about them. And so Andy's smart. She's the one that started our real estate company. We had such a great time buying a house up here that she thought, gosh, I could do that. I could wander around and look at houses. And so she started the real estate company, and I joined her, I guess it would be 5 years after.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after Semanko Realty Group started.
Okay.
I then stepped away from my career in advertising, sales, and everything, and came up and started doing real estate together.
Nice.
And it's been fun. She'll tell you it was terrifying because I'm messy. She had a great organized life, great organized desk, office.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm a, where can I put this where that I can remember where it is? And so all that's on top of my desk. And
that's good.
Yeah, that kind of upset the apple cart a little bit, having to commingle space. But we figured it out and worked really well together.
Okay.
And have enjoyed that. So
that's good.
Anyway, that's a long way around to answer the question.